Hello and welcome to another Spider Strategies Quick Score training video. In this lesson we'll learn how to use Spider Strategies Connect to import an XLS values file with multiple values for one time period into a Quick Score scorecard. Before we get into the actual Connect portion of the lesson, let's pause to review the nature of the import file required for this process. This was covered in another training video. But those of you who may not have seen that one, the column A on the import file needs to contain the measure names for a scorecard or a portion of a scorecard. Column B needs to contain the actual values for a given single time period for each of the measures. Let's also review the nature of the scorecard into which we will import those values. Within Quick Score, we can navigate to the scorecards area in the far upper left and find the organization that contains the scorecard we're working with. In our case, it's BSC, one time period, many measures. And the scorecard for which we designed the import file is the BSC scorecard. This scorecard is comprised of the basic balanced scorecard perspectives of financial, customer, internal processes, and learning and growth. Under each of those perspectives are a variety of objectives which are fed again by another collection of measures. Note over on the right that all the measures that we select seem to be empty for the month of July 2017. As such, all the objectives and the perspectives are similarly without any score. Let's now jump into Connect. To access Connect, simply add /Connect to the end of the URL for Spider Strategies Quick Score that you use. That will take you to the login page. Define a username and password and select Submit. That will bring you to the Connect homepage. From the homepage, we want to begin the import definition process by selecting Create New. This gives you a visual map that you will walk through from left to right to define the nature of the import. Start with basic information. Provide a name for this import process. Define the data source, which in our case is an Excel spreadsheet. Define what you're going to do with data from that spreadsheet as an import type. We're going to update metric values. And then browse out and point to the import file that you have ready to go. From there, we're ready to click OK to move to the next step of the import definition process, which is to define what to do with the source data. Here you get visibility to the data that is coming from your import XLS, and you can see that because of the name of the column headers we provided, it has already been mapped to the metric ID and name and value expectations through Connect. Next, we need to say use the specific time date for each import and define what time period this particular import is intended for. In this case, it's July 31st, 2017. The next step of the process is to define the destination metrics. This is where you're telling it where to put the information that's coming from the import file. We'll select the organization name and look for the scorecard. Note that the scorecard is structured in here very similar to how we saw it over in Quick Score. What we want to do is import values for every measure throughout the entire BSC scorecard. So we'll highlight the BSC scorecard name on the right and just double check that all the measures throughout the scorecard are presented below. Click OK. Next, we need to address mapping. Once again, because of the work that we put into creating the import file appropriately from the scorecard itself, it is able to automatically map the import file's measure names to the measure names that already exist in the scorecard. Lastly, if you desire, you can set up a schedule for regular processing of this import process based on a couple of different frequency choices, some time definitions, and time zone definitions. For training purposes, we do not want to define a schedule, and we'll click OK. The process of defining this import is complete, and we can click Save. Now that it exists under the import section, we want to run that import process now. It succeeds very quickly, and gives us an indication of when that import occurred. Now that the process is done, let's go back to our QuickScore scorecard and see the result. We'll refresh our QuickScore browser and see that for the month of July 2017, our scorecard, which used to be empty and had no scores, now has scores from the scorecard level down to the perspective level, the objective level, and of course the measure level, all for July of 2017. If we look at any other time period, you'll see that there are no values entered for any other time period except for July 2017. Thank you for watching this training video on how to use SpiderStrategy's Connect to import an XLS values file with multiple values for one time period into QuickScore. If you have any questions, please contact us at helpdesk@spiderstrategies.com. Thank you.